Cindy from Stamped with Aloha. Today I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to create a birthday card featuring these yummy donuts. These were created with Stampin' Up's layering circle framelits and the Birthday Goodness stamp set. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make this card. This is the Birthday Goodness stamp set. For today's card, I'm only going to be using the sentiment here. We're going to start with our card base. This is Blushing Bride cardstock. It's been cut at 5.5 by 8.5 inches. I'm going to fold it flat with a bone folder, and now we're going to add another layer. Now this is the Best Dressed designer paper. We're going to use this polka dot print, so I'm going to use my liquid glue to put on the back. Now this piece of designer paper has been cut at 4 inches by 5.25 inches. Now once I have the glue on there, I'm going to go ahead and just add this layer onto the top of my folded Blushing Bride card base. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is add a sentiment. So we're going to use that sentiment that I showed you at the beginning of the video. It says, "Hope your birthday is filled with goodness." And I'm going to stamp that on the far right edge of this strip of Whisper White cardstock using Early Espresso ink. Now this Whisper White cardstock has been cut at 1.5 inches by 5.25 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of the card, just leaving a little tiny row of the polka dots at the bottom of that strip. So now that that's done, we're ready to create some donuts. So I have 3 pieces of cardstock. This is So Saffron, Blushing Bride, and the Early Espresso. And I'm going to be using my layering circle framelits. So I have both a large one and then a small one. And then what I'm going to do is just take these over to my Big Shot. I'll lay the circle on the cardstock, and then I'll lay the smaller circle inside to create a donut shape. Now, I went ahead and did these already, and let me show you what I created. So I have 1 Early Espresso circle, 1 Blushing Bride circle, and then I have 2 made out of So Saffron. So I'm going to take the Blushing Bride and the Early Espresso, and I'm going to stack them together. And then I'm going to grab my paper snips. And what I'm going to do next is make the frosting for the donuts. And so I'm going to do this by just doing a freehand cut, just waving the scissors around the edge of the circle. And so it's no particular pattern. I just want it to be like little smooth waves so that it's going to appear like frosting on the donuts. So now we have our pink frosting and of course our chocolate frosting. So we'll set those to the side, and let me grab my liquid glue. I'm going to pick up the pink frosting. This is again out of Blushing Bride cardstock. And then I'm going to just take one of the So Saffron circles and I'll just throw that right on top. And it's super easy. And we have our pink frosted donut just like that. Okay, then we'll do the same thing with the Early Espresso. So grab our liquid glue, just put it on the back, and then we will press that down onto the So Saffron circle, and now we've made a chocolate frosted donut. And now comes the fun part. We're going to add some embellishments. So I'm going to start with this pink donut and add some adhesive back sequins. Now these are going to become the sprinkles for the donuts. So I'm going to use several different sheets of these. They come in different colors, and I'm going to put about 16 of these all around the entire donut. Now I'm going to leave a little tiny bit off in the bottom corner because I do want to punch this donut. So actually I probably should have waited and punched it right there first, but since I remembered after I started doing the sequins, we can punch it after. It shouldn't be a problem. Okay, the next step will be to add some dimensionals, and I'm going to start with a chocolate donut. So I'm going to add about 3 or 4 dimensionals to the back of this, and then I'll go ahead and peel off the backing, and we're going to stick this in the far bottom left corner of the card so it touches the edges of the card because we want to be able to fit both of these donuts on there. Now I'm going to add some embellishments to this donut. So for this one, we're going to use our fun shimmery crystal effect. So this is going to give the perfect touch to this donut because it's going to create this shiny surface that'll look just like lots of sugar glazed coating on our chocolate donut. So it'll make it look good enough to eat. So I'm going to just squiggle this on all the way around. And you can see it's just getting really messy and shiny, just like a chocolate donut would look, or at least one that I would make would look. So then we're going to go ahead and put lots of that on there. Now that's going to take about maybe 10-15 minutes to dry, but I'm going to go ahead and carefully place this donut on top. But remember, I said I want to take a bite out of it. So I have my punch here, and I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bite out of that donut. Again, it would be easier to punch that before you put on the sequins, but I just got so excited to embellish it, I forgot. So then I'm going to add my dimensionals to the back and then peel these off. And then when I place this, I'm going to place that little punch section right by the words so that bite is kind of framing the sentiment on there. And then even though that Crystal Effects is still drying, it'll just help to adhere that donut down to the card. So it's okay if you do it like that, because Crystal Effects can act like glue as well. So the last thing I'm going to do is use my jewel rhinestones and my take your pick tool, and I'm going to dot a rhinestone right on top of the word birthday. So that'll just add that finishing touch to this card with all these fun embellishments. Now let me show you one other sample I have here. It's the exact same card, but instead of a white strip, I use a blushing bride strip on the bottom there. And you can see what that Crystal Effects looks like after it's all dry. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this card. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have a happy and blessed day. Aloha!